So, Roland, I'm talking today to Rolant Oltmans, a very famous hockey coach, one of perhaps the few really top coaches in the world. Has vast experience, and now we're going to unlock some of the secrets of the hockey brain of Roland. So, Roland, tell me, what are the critical factors in creating a winning hockey team? I like the easy questions.
Yeah. That's a very easy one because that's a long-term process.
Yes.
It's not we start with a team and overnight there is all of a sudden a top team. It's a process, a long-term, and of course one of the most important things is making sure that there's quality. So the talent should be there. Without talent, you can never become a winner. That's a critical factor for sure. The next thing which is really critical that all players only are facing one target, so there couldn't be an individual targets inside such a team. In case of if I'm playing well, that's more important than my team is winning. There are always egos is one of the worst things you can overcome in a team. Egos become more important than the team. Will never become a winning side. Of course, everyone has the right to be his own ego. There's no doubt about that. But he should bring his ego into the strategy to help the team perform better. That is the second important, really important.
Yes.
Of course, other things which are important is that you should be physically, mentally, technically, be really on top level.
Yes.
In all these areas, you should be on top level. So you have to cope with disappointments, but also to cope with success. There are players, teams, you see sometimes they're winning a game, and then all of a sudden they say, now we are so damn good, and the next game they lose again. Concentration is lacking. You should every game and even every training session, there's only one reason to do it, to perform better next time.
Yes.
So every step we make is we want to become better and better and better, because every single moment that you are training, practicing, but also when you have your fitness sessions, your meetings and so on, it's all based on one thing: increase the performance. And that's what it was. Everyone inside the team, that should be there.
So constant improvement.
Absolutely, of course.
Okay, we've seen over the years, certainly with the European teams, the Dutch in particular, the short corner was the hit. Now they've developed the drag flick to a very high standard. And around the world we find you handful of individual, very high quality drag flickers. How important is it in the modern game to have a specialist drag flicker?
Of course, a penalty corner is something you deserve because you play attacking hockey, otherwise you cannot deserve any penalty corner.
Yes.
And the moment the opponent, the only way to stop you is by conceding a penalty corner, you should be prepared to score. So that means that you have to either make sure that you have perfect drag flickers or some very good indirect corners. That's also an opportunity. And mostly it's nowadays it's a combination of both. Defending strategies has improved a lot in the last couple of years. So that also means for the attacking sides, it's not only just having a good drag flicker, but also your strategy should be good.
Yes. Okay. When you're selecting a team, some players select themselves. A few are in the middle, and then you always come down. Eventually, it comes to a line. You have two players left. How are you going to select one player over the other player?
Well, of course, for your every coach will have kind of they should have criteria to select players, and especially if you come to the last two, they should have to fit into the total plan.
Yes.
That means, do I need a multifunctional player? This might be an advantage in case one of those two should be multifunctional. Does he have a certain specialty? Could be a great flicker. So you always have to look at what does my team need in case something will happen during the tournament. And unfortunately, many times something happens during the tournament. You get injuries or you get suspension or unforeseen situations, and then the whole team should be able to find a new situation, let's say, to cope with it. So the last two always if 10 coaches should decide, most probably we all choose different ones because
yeah, the line is fine.
Yeah,
fine line.
yeah, that's a fine line, and it all really depends on well, what is the strategy chosen for, and what do you think is necessary in case something happens. Do you want an extra forward? Do you want an extra midfielder? Do you want an extra defender? Do you want an extra back flicker? Do you want a functional player? Do you want someone who is physically a tough one? Do you want something to change the game? Once I had it's a long time ago, World Cup 1998, I had to make this decision, and we had really one fantastic player who will later become Olympic champion, and I decided not to choose him.
Okay.
Because in the end I chosen a different type of player who was completely different to all the players that I had already.
Okay.
So there was, if you want to change something during the game, so we better bring in someone who's really changing the game and who is unpredictable for everyone in the world, and bringing in someone who is fitting exactly in the way we want.
Did that work?
It worked. We became world champion, so it worked out. So it worked out.
Okay.
On forehand, you never know, and it's also very difficult to explain to the other player why he wasn't good. It was for him, it was very different and disappointing. And 3 months later, he played the Champions Trophy, which we also won, and he was one of our key players in the tournament. So it's sometimes it goes like that.
You have your team of players. Hopefully they don't need motivating, but if they do, maybe they get down sometimes. How do you motivate them?
I think you can never say there is just one element. You say this is the way we do it. It depends on why you are doing support. For instance, of course there will be support. You expect the game to win. You don't. You expect to reach a certain level in a major tournament, and you don't. Or the player himself just plays a bad game. That's all different situations, and they ask for different approaches. I do believe in structure. So for me, it's always important to see, okay guys, this disappointment is understandable, but the reason that it occurs has to do with, okay, this. That's important. That's the first thing. Second thing is, disappointment always has to do with expectations. So one of the main issues is to set realistic targets. Yeah, you have to manage them. If your expectations are too high, which normally is. I always say, we start a tournament, every team thinks we become the champion. But in the end, there's only one. So all the other teams will be disappointed somewhere. And is it realistic for all these teams to say, okay, like India, for instance. Last Olympic Games, just before I read all kinds of interviews. We're going for a medal. In the end, they finished 12th. Because after 2 matches, it was already clear that they couldn't reach that position anymore. And then the disappointment really comes. That's the most important thing is realistic targets and manage expectations. That is really important. The moment you do that, make sure there's a clear structure. And from my point of view, always be positive in the way you approach the goal.
So you've motivated them, you've raised them from their disappointment. Things are going wrong. You have to criticize this player now. How do you criticize your player?
Well, many times we make a combination of showing them the reason reason that you could. You show them, this is our appointments, this was our strategy, this is the structure that you have chosen for, and this is what we're doing. And that's almost it. And when you show them, they understand. So it's very, very important to make clear why you criticize. Okay, you didn't stop the ball. Okay. We all have seen.
Yes.
An open door, you don't have to open anymore. It's clear for everyone. But okay, if it occurs, why does it occur? And what do you have to do next time to join? That is in the end what it's all about. We all want our players, that's what I started with, I think. We all want our players to improve themselves, increase their level. Therefore, you also have to play, but in a positive manner. To develop them and not just criticize.
So talking of developing the play then, in previous days we used to see fullbacks, we used to see midfielders, and we used to see forwards. These days we see players running from the fullback position to the forward line. They run across the lines basically, it's an intermingling. How do you develop the all-round player?
Well, personally, I still believe that players are in certain positions better than others. So that is for sure one thing, because the defender, not every defender is a good attacker, not every attacker is a good defender. But nowadays, of course, there is more kind of total player who can play in different positions throughout the game. And one of the most important things is that in many countries, when players are developed, at a younger age, you're the right wing. And they stay right wing the rest of their life. But someone has decided that he is the right wing.
Yes.
But maybe he's better as a left half or as a central defender. So if I go to Holland, look at the development in Holland until 14, we don't want our players to play on one specific position. We want them to develop in different ways, so that at a later age we can choose what is your best position, but also you always will be able to play on more positions.
Okay. We talked about the attacking short corner. The defending short corner. Do you review the defending short corner during the game? So in other words, the strategy of the attacking short corner comes off the bench before each short corner. This happens live during the game. We see the players on the sideline looking at the video replay even to select what's going to happen. You're talking to the team management, working things out. The defending short corner, is that reviewed live and you send out the instructions onto the game?
Well, mostly you decide that before, because the point is that you want to confuse the attacking penalty corner. You want to confuse. So if you do every time the same, it's too simple. Because then everyone knows, okay, this is the way they're going to do it, so we have to change. But to decide which moment you do what also depends on the attacking corners of the opponent. Let's give an example. If the penalty corner of the opponent missed 3 times directly, most probably you can expect the next time a variation. But you still don't know which one. But you know what will be the variation. That means that in the team there has to be decided the way. So sometimes when I was coaching Pakistan, for instance, we had 9 different ways of corner defense. And they all practice and everyone knows is targets for that, and they knew what to do.
Yes.
And in the end, the goalkeeper, he is the one. He's the one, and in case I want to have contact with him for one or other reason, you can give signals, like in baseball.
Yes. Okay, during normal play, the player receives the ball. What's the first thing the player should do?
But to be honest, he should have done already something before he receives the ball.
Yeah.
And that is pre-scanning.
Yes.
That's the most important thing for every player before he receives the pre-scan.
Yes.
Because the pre-scanning will be decisive for the action. Is he going to play a one touch? Is he going to receive the ball and pass? Or is he going to have an individual action?
Yes.
It all depends on his position and on the position of his fellow players and of course of the defenders. So you can't say what is the thing you do. For me, pre-scanning is the most important thing, and the decision that he will make is depending on the options that are given by his fellow players.
Very wise. And attacking forward, well, up into the opposition half, he has the ball. Do you have any rules about when that player should take on the defence, last line of defence, or whether he can go back? Any rule governing that?
Yeah, well, of course there are rules governing it. You have to look at the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah. When you're on your own and there are 5 defenders, you can try to beat them all, but is it realistic that it will occur? No, it isn't. So then most probably whether you hold the ball and wait for assistance and then try to continue your attack. It also depends on the position of your fellow players. Are your fellow players already behind the defenders or not? Is someone near to you or not? So you can't always say this is the way, but the numbers is really important, and of course the position. Is he just on the opponent's half, or is he 1 meter away from the lead? That's also, and the last thing which is important is how is the counter control organized. When I lose position there, does that mean a turnover with a huge risk of conceding a goal, or there are 10 of my fellow players behind me, so if I lose the ball, nothing will happen. So all that kind of stuff, the players should be aware of before taking decisions.
Final question for this part of the interview, then I'd like to ask you a little bit about Indian hockey. We see during hockey over the many years more changes. Almost every second year or so we see 1 or 2 changes now and then. And most recently we have the changes again. If you could change one rule in hockey, what would you change and why?
Yeah, one rule I want to change already since 1997, so that's a very simple question for me. I think when an area ball is controlled by a defender with a stick a little bit above the shoulder, please continue to play. There's no reason to stop.
If there's no danger.
There's no, of course. The only important thing should be, is there danger or not?
Yes.
Is there no danger and you stop the ball? Why should we stop?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think the rules has to be changed immediately. Yes. I said I'm fighting for that already since 1997, so that's
so you're committed.
more than 15 years ago. So I'm committed to change that rule. And I know that in Europe, in the European Hockey League, they have an experiment with it now. So hopefully it will be the start for something. Yeah.
Roland Oltmans, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Stop this.